Welcome back to Legacy Labs, you guys. My name is Davey, and today we're going to talk about brand confusion. So this video is for the brand that's posting, looks clean, has the website, the logo, the offer, the content, the visuals, and people still don't know what you do. So a lot of times it's not a visibility problem; it's a memory problem. So your audience sees the brand, but they just don't know what to remember, and that's where the structure is breaking. So the surface problem. What does this look like on the surface? So your brand is active, the visuals look good, the content is consistent, the offer exists. People are seeing the post, but they can't explain the brand clearly. They might like your content, they might follow, they might even engage with your content. But if somebody asks them what does that brand do, the answer gets fuzzy, and that fuzziness is the structural break. Because if people can't remember the brand clearly, they can't repeat it, they can't recommend it, they can't trust it, and they definitely won't buy from it. So what do brands usually try? So brands try to fix this by adding more posts, more visuals, more explanations. They try updating the tagline, updating the website, logos, more videos, more content. That stuff could help, but a lot of the times it's not helping, especially if the brand memory is unstable. It's unstable. More content creates an opportunity for more confusion. And that's the key. The problem is not always that the brand has not said enough. Sometimes the brand has not repeated the right thing clearly enough. So the structural break, what's this look like? So the structural break is simple. Visibility is not the same as recognition. A person can see your brand every day and still not know what it means. That happens when the brand keeps changing its signal. One post says one thing, the next post says another thing, the website says something else, the bio says something else, and then the offer doesn't connect any of those things together. So your audience sees activity, but they don't get a stable pattern. So the brand's visible, but it's not memorable, and that's where the brand confusion begins. So let's imagine a company called Northline Studio. It's a brand. So imagine Northline Studios, and they help businesses clarify their message, turn scatter ideas into a public identity. So we have three posts here, right? So one post is motivational, believe in your business. The other post is tactical, fix your website copy. Another post is a polished brand statement about clarity and strategy. So individually, these posts might be fine, right? Individually, but together, the audience, like if somebody sees these individually, from coming from the same brand, they're not going to know what the brand is doing. They're not going to know exactly what the brand does, because they don't. These three posts structurally train the audience to remember different things. So the brand starts to drift. Some people might think that it's a motivational page. Some people might think that it's a copyright page. Some people might think that it's a design studio or a strategy consultancy. That confusion is not because the content is bad. It's just because the brand memory is not stable. So the narrative architecture read. So from a narrative architecture point of view, we start with the pulse. So the pulse is, what is the brand really trying to carry? So for Northline, maybe the pulse is, we help small businesses become easier to understand. That's the core signal. Everything should support that. The pressure, what tests the brand? Different platforms, different audience, different content formats, trends, sales pressure. Everything needs to explain the offer quickly, because under pressure, brands start reaching for anything that gets attention. And that's when the signal starts changing. So inheritance. What does the brand already carry? Old messaging, old visuals, old audiences, old offers, old posts, old language. Maybe the brand used to be one thing and is becoming something else. That matters because the audience may still remember the old version. A brand does not erase memory instantly. You have to retain it. So motif, the repeating ideas. This is where the brands get stronger. A repeated phrase, a repeated problem, a repeated promise, a repeated visual pattern, a repeated contrast. So for Northline, the motif could be scattered ideas need structure. If the audience sees that idea enough, they start to understand the brand faster. And then memory is the key. What should the audience remember? Not just, was that a good post? They should remember Northline helps businesses explain themselves clearly. That's brand memory. That's what you want to build. And then rhythm. So how does the brand move across platforms? Does this website match the post? Does the bio match the offer? Do videos match the articles? Do captions that match the sales page? Every touch point should feel like a different version. Every touch point feels like a different version of the brand. The audience has to keep reinterpreting. So you want to make sure all these things are aligned. So the diagnostic. So the diagnostic from a narrative architecture point of view is this: your brand might be visible, but the audience has not been trained to remember one stable meaning. And that is why more attention doesn't always solve the problem. If the audience sees you more but still can't explain what you do, the brand is not suffering from invisibility; it's suffering from unstable memory. So a better question might be, instead of asking how do we get more people to see this, better questions might be, what should people remember after seeing this? What promise should repeat? What language should become recognizable? What confusion keeps coming back? What does the audience still not know how to explain? Because those questions are going to be much stronger for your content, because they answer brand clarity. Brand clarity is not just what you say; it's what people remember about you. You know. So the strategy shift is this. So we're going to stop treating branding as explanation, right? We're going to stop treating brand clarity as more explanation. We're going to start treating brand clarity as memory design. We're going to define the core part, repeat the main problem that the brand solves, create recognizable language, and make every touch point strengthening the same memory. That does not mean every post sounds identical. It just means that the post should belong to the same system. A brand does not become clear because it says more. It becomes clear when people know what to remember. So I wrote an article on the Legacy Lab Substack page on this in the narrative architecture applications section. There is also a paid diagnostic article on here in the strategy guides. You guys can check that out. I'll link that in the description. But yeah, if you're interested in design, story design, AI drift, organizational drift, that kind of stuff, we're going to be doing a lot of videos on just structuring and the underlying structure of these domains. So definitely tap in, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.